Hey guys, how's it going? Brad Riley here and welcome to this video. And in this one today, I'm gonna show you how you can land 7 clients in 7 days. Before we jump into it, if you are new around here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss another upload. And if you are interested in having me personally mentor you every single day, I want to invite you to check out the top link of the description where you can get a 7-day free trial to my Entrepreneur Accelerator mentorship group. Okay, so I've saved the spot for you. All you need to do, click that link and get yourself joined in whilst the spots are still available. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. So what we're gonna be going through today is 5 different steps for you to be able to land 7 clients in 7 days. Now I know initially this may seem a bit crazy, right? Whoa, hang on a minute, like 7 clients in 7 days. And the truth is it is 100% possible. I've had students before do this. I have done this myself before. So I'm gonna walk through today exactly how to break this process down and how you can do it too. But I wanna preface it by one thing. This is gonna take work. If you wanna land 7 clients in a week, you're gonna need to put the work in. No excuses, you need to get yourself focused and be willing to take action. There is no silver bullet here. There's no get rich quick button that you click and all of a sudden you've got 7 clients. You need to be willing to put the work in if you wanna make this happen. So the first tip that I have for you is to know your numbers. If you want to make this work, you need to know your numbers. You need to be keeping track of every single outreach that you do. You need to keep track of the amount of outreach you're doing, the amount of responses that you're getting, the amount of meetings you set, and the amount of clients that you close. Because once you know those figures, you can then reverse engineer it and put in place a plan to land a client every single day. Okay, so before anything else, if you're not doing it right now, you need to start. You need to start this immediately. Yesterday, you need to have started it, right? You know, if you're already in some of my paid programs, you're gonna get access to the conversion calendar, which is an outreach tracker that automatically fills out all that data for you. If you're not, get a pen and paper, create yourself an Excel doc and start tracking those figures. You know, track the outreach, track your responses, the meetings set, and set the client and the amount of clients closed. Know those figures because I promise you this is gonna make all the difference when it comes to actually tracking everything. And also when you know your figures, you know, for example, let's say you know for every 100 outreach you do, you land a client. Guess what? You can then do more or less outreach depending on what you want to show up in your life. Like if your goals are to land 5 clients, you know you need to do X amount of outreach, you know, you can do that amount. But if you have smaller goals or bigger goals, you can increase or decrease the amount of outreach that you do on a daily basis depending on what those goals are, okay? So really, really important. Tip number 1, know your data, track your data. So the second thing I wanna go through now is, again, following nicely on from point 1, which is knowing your data and how you can reverse engineer that. So I'm just gonna pull some example figures out the air, but this is why you need to know your own numbers because you can apply your own numbers to this formula that I'm gonna go through right now with you. So let's say in this scenario, in this video today, we're going through how you can land 7 clients in 7 days. So your goal is, I want to land 7 clients. Okay, cool. Let's reverse engineer that a little. If you have the figures in front of you, you can look at that data and work backwards. So let's say you look and you said, okay, cool, I landed 1 client. And to land that 1 client, I actually ended up having 3 meetings. All of a sudden now, you know, if you want to close 1 client, on average, you need to have 3 meetings. Cool. From those meetings, how many responses did I get that actually ended up in a meeting? Well, it's the same, right? Maybe it was for every 3 responses you had from your outreach, 1 set up in a meeting. So again, in order to set those 3 meetings to land that 1 client, you need 3 times the amount of responses. So you need 9 responses. And then maybe you know you got a 10% response rate, meaning you know in order for you to actually get those 9 responses, you needed to do 90 outreach because you got a 10% response rate. All of a sudden now, you know you need to do 90 outreach on average for every 1 client closed. And if you want to close a client every day for 7 days, guess what? You need to do 90 outreach every single day. Think about it, you've just reverse engineered those statistics, okay? Now, sometimes data can skew up and down, but for the most part, data will remain the same. If all other variables are kept the same, meaning you keep the same outreach template that you're doing, you do the same amount of outreach, you follow the same process, the same sales process, the same script in the sales call, if everything else remains the same, then that data should also remain very, very close to the same as well. Now, yeah, you may actually end up landing a few more clients, maybe a couple less, but for the most part, at least you then have a strategy. So rather than running around aimless thinking, right, I want to land a client every day this week, and then just thinking like, I'm just going to wake up and do some outreach, you now know exactly and have an action plan for exactly what you need to do, which is 90 outreach per day. And then you can break that down even further and be like, okay, cool. On average, I can do about 20 outreach in an hour. So if I want to get 90 done, it's going to take me about 4 to 5 hours. There you have it, 4 to 5 hours a day, dedicated, focused outreach, and you're very likely to hit your goal, okay? That's how you work it out. Obviously, I gave you some example numbers today and some example percentages and figures. This is why it's important for you to know your own numbers, because if you know, for you it might be you close 1 in every 2 sales calls, right? You're really good at that, but you actually need, 10 responses to set up 1 meeting, but maybe you get a 20% response rate. Like, that's why everybody's different. Your strategy and your structure that you use, your outreach methods, all of those things will affect what that looks like and what those numbers look like. So it's really important that before you even go ahead and put this plan in place, you make sure you've got 30 days, 30 solid days of tracking your outreach and tracking those numbers for you to be able to reverse engineer it. So the third tip that I have for you and third piece of advice is that your business should run like a well-oiled machine. You should almost be able to predict the amount of income and revenue that you're gonna add to your business every single month, if this is done correctly. Because if all those figures remain the same and you say, you know what, I know that I get X response rate, I get X amount of meetings set and X amount of deals closed from the meetings. You can then again reverse engineer that, set a plan in place and be like, okay, if I follow this plan and hit my 20 outreach every day, then this in theory should be the amount of revenue that we go up by this month. This is how much we're able to grow the business this month. You should almost be able to predict your income, and your business should run like that well-oiled machine. You should be able to have input and then expect your output and almost predict your output. Because when you do that and you have like forecast results, it allows you to, again, make like actual focused, logical decisions within your company. You can say, you know what, if we want to hit 6 figures by January in 3 months from now or whatever, I need to do X amount of outreach, and you can have that show up. Runs like that well-oiled machine. Your input is this and your output in theory should be this, providing you stick to the plan, okay? And then all of a sudden your results are almost like a byproduct of the action that you take because you're following a solid plan, okay? So that's the third tip that I have. Treat your business like a well-oiled machine, and you should, in theory, be able to like predict or at least have forecasted results for yourself and have a real plan to achieve the goals that you want to achieve. The fourth tip that I have for you, if you want to close 7 clients in 7 days, is you need to have a heavy focus on sales. You need to make sure that you're not letting anything fall through the cracks, right? You need to make sure that you're following up. You need to make sure you're getting commitments on sales calls. You need to make sure if clients haven't paid invoices that you've sent them, like send them a follow-up message, get them to pay, get them to settle, give them a call up and prompt them to make that payment. If you really want to close 7 deals in 7 days, you need to be on it with your sales. You need to be getting those commitments. Like I said, you need to be negotiating if there's objections, overcoming those objections. You need to be following up like crazy. 7 clients in 7 days is no small feat. It's a big achievement to be able to do that, and it was 100% possible. But you need to be, if you're spending 3, 4, 5 hours a day on your outreach, 6 hours a day on your outreach, the additional 3, 6 hours that you have that you're willing to allocate to your business in your workday, then guess what? That needs to be, again, heavily focused on sales, following up those really warm leads who are on the edge, negotiating, overcoming objections, and really helping them tip over and actually make sure that you get that payment in the bank. Because a client is never truly closed until the money's in the bank. And I had to learn this the hard way. The amount of times when I first started out, I was like, yes, I've closed a client today. And guess what? They never ended up paying, okay? So until the money's in your bank, they are not a client. Until the contract's signed and the money is in your bank, they're not a client. So be sure to be heavy on that sales. Now, it doesn't have to be hard selling and too pushy. You can do it in a gentle approach. Hey, just a gentle follow-up. Just a reminder to settle the invoice, please. I would love to get started today. As soon as you settle the invoice, I can get things kicked off. There's a way to do it where you're not like being super aggressive and hard selling. If you do that, you're gonna get better results. And the fifth and final piece of advice I have for you today is real simple. I kind of touched on it a little in the start, but you need to stay dedicated and you need to put the work in. Like, there's so many people I see in this space who are like aspiring entrepreneurs, and there's so many people selling this dream to them, like, you can have all of this and you don't have to do any work. It's just not true. Yes, it doesn't have to be as difficult if you've got a mentor, if you've got a plan, if you've got a guide, an action plan to follow, right? But for the most part, you're still gonna have to put in dedication. You're gonna have to stay disciplined. You're gonna have to put some work in. Because 7 clients, that's a full-time income. Average clients are $1,000 a month. you could be on like 7 grand a month, you know what I'm saying? Or even if it's like a smaller management client, 500 bucks each, it's like $3,500 a month. For most people, that's enough to quit your job and live very comfortably. And that's not gonna come without any type of discipline, any type of dedication or hard work. You need to make a commitment to this business model. You need to make a commitment, stay disciplined and put the work in. Now, saying that, don't be a busy idiot and be the type of person that is working hard all day but achieving nothing. You need to make sure you're working hard on the right things. It's the whole smart work, hard work scenario again, right? Smart work is more important than hard work, but if you add hard work to your smart work, then you're unstoppable. So work on the right things, do your outreach, do your sales, as I've mentioned today, and put heavy work in, dedication, stay disciplined on those right tasks, and I promise you, you're gonna have way more success than your competition, all right? So yeah, tip number 5, don't expect it to be some silver bullet, 90, 100 outreach a day if that's what it takes. You have to just do it, okay? Do it, but it's not gonna be easy, yeah? And I just wanna set that expectation for you right now before you think, cool, Brad said in the video I can land 7 clients in 7 days, you do 5 outreach a day and then complain when it doesn't show up, okay? No, smart work and hard work multiplied together, and then you're gonna get success as the outcome, okay? Now, hopefully you found a bunch of value in this video today. If you did, please drop a like, and if you have any questions, be sure to drop in the comment section down below. And on a final note, again, if you are interested in having me personally mentor you every single day, you wanna join a community of like-minded, driven, abundant entrepreneurs, and on top of that, you wanna hop on the weekly live calls, you wanna have the weekly masterclasses, and all the other crazy benefits that you get, I want to invite you to check out the Entrepreneur Accelerator with a free 7-day trial by clicking the top link in the description. I'd love to see you in there. Come check it out, and I have no doubt that you stay afterwards because the value is insane. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. If I can do anything to help, be sure to reach out, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.